self-compassion neurologically is a faster way to get through and out of a pattern. Self-blame then creates shame, which then releases stress hormones, which then create fight, flight, freeze, which then make you do more of the thing you want to stop. So self-compassion is not, even though I love spiritual, I love woo, I love all of that. But self-compassion is not this like saccharine, just give yourself a pass on being a jerk. It's a powerful neurological way of working with your physiology so you can break through patterns faster.
So going into that spiritual way, how do we connect our neurological, logical, whatever side of us and that spiritual faith and just be, and the going within and listen to your inner voice and, love yourself and come from a place of love and acceptance and happiness? How do we connect these things? Because these are very and I am so with you because I subscribe to both. I love both sides of this. And so I really think there is a way to bring them together, but how can we? How can we realistically do it?
Because self-love and listen to your inner voice and go inside, even for some people, the idea of taking a deep breath is too much and it's too fast and it's too big. So we need to, how do you micro yes a spiritual practice? Instead of getting quiet and going inside, which is way too much for people who've never done it, don't go inside, go outside. I remember when I first started my healing process, I couldn't meditate. I couldn't do deep breathing. I couldn't do any of those things. What I could do was sit, and this sounds so weird, but I did. I sat with chain smoking my Marlboro menthols with my Mountain Dew, staring at a leaf and just counting the veins on the leaf and notice, real talk. I'm so spiritual as I'm tweaking out and trying to come down off of meth, chain smoking. But this leaf has 6 lines going to the right and 2 lines going up to the left. And the edges are brown and the center is green. That is a spiritual practice. Anytime you're connecting to anything, that is a spiritual practice. Connecting to drugs technically is disconnecting. But if I'm trying to be spiritual, I need to be connected in a direction that I choose, not being spun out and trying to connect to people, places, things, or chemicals. Looking at a leaf, watching an animal in the tree, looking out your window. Don't worry about going inside. Let's start with you live in a body and there's the stuff outside of it. And let's start there. Because you can't have a deep sense of connectivity to yourself, spirit, and other people if you can't recognize that there's a tree with leaves on it. And let's start there. We start small and then we start going inside. I have a client years ago. I love this kid so much. And he was so high level athlete, speed freak, super disconnected. If you asked him how he was feeling, the question didn't even register. So we went outside in the snow one day and I had him hold a pile of snow in his hand. And I'm like, we're just going to sit here till you can recognize that your hand is cold. He'd wear t-shirts and shorts, no sense of his body whatsoever. And then it was oh yeah, my hand's wet and cold. That's a micro yes. That's how you start building a spiritual practice. Wherever you can connect, that's where you start. And if he had gone this is stupid, which he did say, and then I'm here's the science behind why we're doing this. And that person grew into a deeply connected spiritual person who could meditate and do yoga and find the stillness within and listen to that still small voice and be heart-centered. But none of that stuff is possible if you don't micro yes your way through it. Self-love, too big. Self-intuition, too big. Connection to spirit, too big. We've got to start small.